All right, so today I want to talk about different ways that you can use to market your rental property when you have one come vacant and you want to get it rented kind of quickly. Okay, so the first way I want to discuss is signs. All right, the first sign we have is your typical for rent sign. All right, it just says for rent and then it leaves a space for you to leave your phone number for contact. Okay, that sign is used to spark interest on a property, doesn't give much information, doesn't tell, much of anything about the property, or even where it's located for that matter. You can use that on corners that are not necessarily right in front of the house. You can also use it, in front of the house if you chose to. Okay. Um, what it does is sparks interest for people to call you to get more information about your property. And that way you can sell your property, once you get them on the phone, you can sell it to them and hopefully, that's something that they're interested in. It was what they're looking for. And so that's what that sign is good for. Then you have your for rent sign here. This one has an arrow, as you can see. So this one you would use to face the house, and you can point it towards the actual house where the apartment is for rent. And again, it also leaves a space for a phone number, contact information. Okay. So that one, again, doesn't give a lot of information about the property, except for it is pointing to the property, or at least in the direction that the property sits on. Okay, so it does give a little bit of information or a little bit of clue as to where the property is located, but that's pretty much it. And then it gives your contact information. And so that one is good for just sparking interest as well, but it does give you a little bit more information than the first one. Okay, this sign here is the sign that gives you the most information. As you can see, it gives you the amount of bedrooms you have, it gives you the amount of bathrooms. It even goes as far as to provide the square footage if you wanted to add that. And then it gives you your space here for contact information. Okay, all of these signs I got from Lowe's, and they are fairly inexpensive. It's about as close to free marketing as you can get for your property. I think they all range from like $2 and change to $8 and change. They're really not expensive. I mean, they have fancier, more expensive ones. They have all different styles, but these are the ones I went with. So yeah, they all serve a different purpose, and they all, they're all good. They're all effective. They work. So I think they're a good tool. And like I said, they're fairly inexpensive. Okay, another way I'm gonna talk to you about marketing your property. This one is actually free, and it is actually having your previous tenant kind of help show the property and market the property for you. All right, so you can make an agreement with your tenant if you know that they're moving out ahead of time, and ask if they'd be willing to show your property for you before moving out, especially if they know that they're ending their lease early and breaking their lease. Then you can remind them, that their lease is a certain term, but that, you'd be fine with willing to work with them on breaking their lease as well. If they could just kind of help you find the next tenant, or at least make the property available for showing during the rest of their stay. And a lot of times tenants will be willing to do so, because tenants move for different reasons. Maybe they found a new place, maybe their financial situation changed, maybe they're purchasing their first home, whatever, for whatever reason. So if that's something that they're willing to do, that's perfect. And then more than likely they're going to keep the property clean and updated. And when they do the showings, that's going to help sell the next potential renter that you have, because they're going to be able to come in. The house is already furnished from your current tenant. They're going to be able to look at it like a home, and they're going to be able to visualize and see themselves in that property, in that home. So that is a good tool to use. And you can just give your previous tenant their security deposit back. Chances are they're going to clean the property before they leave, and then the next tenant, they can actually really just exchange keys from one to the next and move in while one is moving out, and that works for everybody involved. You have no gaps in vacancy. Your new tenant breaks their lease because it's convenient for them, and then we have a new tenant moving in and they have their new home. So that's a good way then to market your property. And again, it's free, right? It works for everybody. It's a win-win all around. Another way that's free is actually using Craigslist. So I used to look for apartments on Craigslist when I was a renter. So I know that it's a good tool, and I've used it many times since. I've even sold a property using Craigslist. They have where you can put your contact information in there. They can contact you via email. They can contact you via phone. Um, and so you can also upload pictures, which is a good tool. So they allow you so many pictures for free, and then after a certain amount, you have to pay for them. But I mean, it's a nice amount of pictures that you can really show off your whole property with the amount of pictures that they allow for free. And that really generates a lot of interest on properties. So I would say using Craigslist as a tool um, is a really good tool, but you don't have to use it alone. I would say use that with the other suggestions as well. And that, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Just make sure you're checking your emails and being responsive, or, give them a good contact number where they could text and call you for any questions that they have regarding your property. All right, and the last way that I use, which is um, one of my choices that I feel like it's important to use a property management team. I try to keep myself out of things as much as possible, which is why I prefer to use a property management team. That way, they can handle things, and I can go on working and doing other things that I need to do throughout the week, and they just contact me if they need to. So part of the things the property management company does is they find tenants for you. They vet the tenants, they do background checks, credit checks, things of that nature, and they work to get your property rented. You do have to pay a small fee for this one. Usually it's about 10%. So that's a good tool that you can use. And again, you can use it along with these others. You can still put your signs outside of your property, even though you have a property management team. And the reason why it's good to also do that is because even though the property management team is working for you, they have a certain amount of clientele that sees them, that they can get the information out to. But then some people will never come across the property management's website or page or where they advertise. So it's good to also use things like Craigslist. It's also good to put your signs outside, because there are people who, I mean, I know in this day and age we have a lot of people who love the internet, who stay on their phones, but there are some people who are still, they don't live on the internet. So maybe the signs work better for them to get their attention. And ultimately, it's just one of those things where the more people you have working on a project, the quicker it's going to get done. If you have 10 people working on a project, the quicker it'll get done, as opposed to if you have one person working on a project, right? So yeah, have a property management team. Let them assist with finding tenants for you. Have a tenant that will be willing to show your property if possible, and put in some work yourself. Go put out some signs, and spark interest, create interest for your property, because ultimately it is your property, and you really do want to make sure that you're finding the right tenants and sparking interest with as many people as possible, so that you have a nice tenant pool to choose from. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for this video. I hope this helps you guys out with how to market your property. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.